Forget the packed store sweets. Today, we're making the legendary melt-in-the-mouth Tirunelveli Iruttu Kadai Halwa, right here in my kitchen. Why Iruttu Kadai? Sold this halwa only under a single dim light bulb after dark. But its taste shone bright. No color, no preservatives, just 3 core ingredients: wheat starch, sugar, and pure ghee. That's the secret. Let's prepare the wheat milk first. This is the texture we are chasing today. Glassy, ultra soft, and completely non-sticky on the spoon. Ready? Let's go. A clean workspace is key for a recipe that demands hours of undivided attention and care. First step, the wheat. Always use whole Samba wheat grains, never wheat flour, to extract the purest starch milk. Let's give them a wash. Wash the wheat grains thoroughly 2 or 3 times to remove any surface dust or debris. Perfect. Clean and ready. Now, submerge the wheat in clean water. It needs to soak for a full 8 to 10 hours to soften. Time to let it rest overnight. Good morning. Our wheat has soaked and is now soft, plump, and ready to yield its starch. Let's drain the water. Drain off all the soaking water. We only want the soft grains for grinding. Next up, the extraction. Transfer the soaked wheat to the mixer jar with just enough fresh water to help it grind smoothly. Let's blend. Grind it on high speed until it turns into a completely smooth, thick paste. Look at this milk. We need a fine filter. A double-layered muslin cloth over a strainer ensures no husk passes through. Here comes the pour. Pour it all in and let the thick white starch begin to filter down naturally. Now, let's squeeze. Squeeze hard, extracting every drop of this rich, starchy wheat milk. We must repeat this step. Don't discard the fiber yet. Add more water and grind it again to get all the remaining starch out. One final spin. Now, the husk is completely dry and we have a bowl of pure, concentrated wheat milk. Next, we let it settle. This milk needs to sit undisturbed for 3 to 5 hours. The starch must separate. Patience is key here. This settling time allows a very slight fermentation, which gives the halwa its signature, very mild tanginess. It balances the sweetness. Look at the separation. Clear water on top, thick white wheat starch at the bottom. We must remove that top water. Pour off the clear water very gently, leaving only the concentrated wheat extract at the bottom. Success! We saved the starch. Measure the thick starch paste. This tells us how much sugar and ghee we need. We have exactly 1 cup. Let's heat a tablespoon of ghee in our heavy-bottomed kadai to fry the cashews. Here come the cashews. Fry the cashews on low heat until they are evenly golden. Don't burn them. The smell is incredible. Remove the cashews and set them aside. They will add that perfect crunch to our soft halwa later. Now for the sugar ratios. For 1 cup of wheat starch, we need 2 to 2.5 cups of sugar. It's sweet. First, we make the caramel. How does it get that dark color? No food colors, just pure caramelized sugar. That's the secret. Let's heat it up. Do not stir the sugar. Just let it melt slowly on medium-low heat. Stirring causes crystallization. Watch it closely. Now it begins to color from clear syrup to a beautiful light golden honey shade. Almost there. This is the sweet spot, a deep amber brown. Any further and it will burn and taste bitter. Off the heat it goes. A splash of water stops the cooking, keeping it in liquid state. Look at that gorgeous color. Now, let's cook the wheat. Pour the starch into the kadai and dilute it with 3 cups of water. Stir it well before heating. Heat is on, let's stir. Stir continuously on medium heat. Do not stop or the wheat starch will clump up instantly at the bottom. Keep it moving. Look, it is thickening up. The wheat starch is gelatinizing into a glossy, semi-clear paste. This takes about 5 minutes. Add the main portion of sugar now, keeping the mixture moving as we go. As the sugar melts, the thick paste will liquefy and turn glossy. Watch the texture change. Stir until the sugar is fully dissolved and the base is shiny and bubbling. Now we add the magic. Time for the caramel. Pour in the warm caramel, watch it paint the wheat starch into that signature deep golden brown shade. Look at that marble effect. Stir until the color is uniform, creating that rich dark brown body. Time for the ghee stages. Add the ghee in stages, never all at once. Stir until the halwa fully absorbs this first batch. Keep stirring. See how the ghee has vanished? The wheat starch has completely absorbed it, turning glossy. Ghee batch 2 coming up. This is where patience pays off. Gently fold the halwa paste over the ghee until it drinks it up. Phew, it is getting hot. Third batch of ghee goes in. As the wheat starch cooks, it becomes heavier and starts releasing from the sides. Feel the arm work out. When the halwa stops absorbing and starts releasing ghee at the edges, it is fully cooked. Time for the final touch. Add the fried cashews and fold them in. The golden crunch against the soft halwa is magical. The halwa is ready. Turn off the stove. The halwa should roll together like a single ball without sticking to the pan at all. Perfect rolling consistency. Let it rest for 10 minutes. As it cools, it will absorb any remaining ghee and thicken further. Let's prepare the serving plate. Serving on a fresh banana leaf is traditional. The warm halwa releases a beautiful earthy aroma from the leaf. Let's scoop it out. Look at how it slides off the spoon, glossy, smooth, and smelling of pure caramelized sugar, wheat, and ghee. Taste test time! Oh my! It just melts in the mouth. Perfect mild wheaty sourness, absolute perfection. Make this legendary sweet at home today. Like, comment, and subscribe for more traditional recipes. Share with your friends. See you in the next video.